America, it's Sterling with Sterling's Wild West, where we trade horsepower for goodwill. We're doing some more mods on our giveaway Raptor here. Today we're going to install two mods. They're both some of the first mods that I do on trucks personally. One of them is a cold air intake. We'll give you the reasons for that coming up. It's not what you think. And the other one is a bed cover. I always like having some sort of tonneau cover or bed cover. Both of these items were donated. As we go through the install, we'll tell you who donated them. So let's get going. Like I said in the last video, we have just had an outpouring of companies that have stepped up and have donated some killer mods. We got a product that we're going to install today, which is kind of the basic where a lot of truck owners will start, and that's a cold air intake. Before we get to the installation, I want to talk a little bit about cold air intake and why we put it on. A lot of people will say, oh, you put it on for power, it's not going to give you any power. Well, there's several reasons we put it on. My personal reason, a cold air intake that is because the filter is oiled, and an oiled filter will always filter dust and dirt from off-roading better than the paper one that comes with Ford. So I like it for that reason. Plus, it just looks cool, and it opens it up a little bit where you hear a little bit more of the sound. And who doesn't like the sound of the turbo whistling? Nice. That's just the best sound ever. So let's get going on this install. We've sold a ton of these cold air intakes. So let's get this thing unboxed and check it out. Oh, that looks great. I love the lid. I love that it has dual inlets, where the factory one just has a single inlet. This has dual inlets, one for each bank. All right, let's see what we got here. We've got some of the adapter hoses, clamps, and we got some other things here. We'll get that open. And then in this box, we should have actual filter element. Another reason I like these is because I always keep two of them around. One that's cleaned and oiled and ready to go back in, and one that's in my truck. I almost forgot one thing. I think we got two of the pipes. Yeah, there they are. They're meshed inside of this. One for the driver's side bank, the other for the passenger side bank. Let's see, we have a gasket there for around the airbox. We got a license plate frame. All right, let's get this garbage out of the way and get this install underway. All right, let's get this thing going. We'll get these clamps off. Everything is hard to get to. All right, we want to save this sensor for later because we're going to be putting it back in the new tubes. I want to carefully pry it out of the housing here. All right, we're going to set that right there. Now we can get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. Take that lid, take this and toss it as well. All right, one of the other reasons that I like Cobb cold air intakes is it reuses the factory lower part of the airbox. So let's get this thing going. All right, got this little gasket to go around the edge to keep it from rattling. And basically it covers the factory box like that. So now we'll mount the, we're gonna mount the filter in this box. All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break doing the cold air intake because a good friend of mine has showed up and he's gonna program a few treats into the module of the truck. We're gonna have two changes made. We're gonna have one change that the halos, which are daytime running lights, they normally just come on for daytime running lights, but I want all three of these lights to come on. So we're going to make a change in the module. So instead of just the halos, it's going to have all of the running lights, even the ones on the front and rear fenders right here. Another change that we're going to have him make is, and I don't know why Ford didn't activate this from the factory, but anti-glare or glare-free headlights, I think is what it's called, where instead of the high beam and low beam just coming on and snapping on and off, it moves really soft, slowly and progressively. If somebody starts driving at you, the headlights will just kind of ramp down, and then when you don't have any more oncoming traffic, they just kind of ramp up, and you can see the beam starting going further and further down the road. So let's see how that progress is coming along. James, thanks for showing up.
Yeah.
Oh, look at all this.
So we're just trying to manipulate using ForScan. We're just looking at the daytime running light options here and trying to find the one you want.
You know, I think it's fair to say that one module on this truck of many modules has more computing power than the Apollo.
Oh yeah.
American components, Russian components, all made in Taiwan.
The whole Apollo program combined, I think, with the actual hardware that went to space and everything on the ground that programmed it, right?
Has way more glitches too. Okay, module 3 of 5 done.
This is only on a few trucks, and I don't know why Ford makes a truck able to do something and then program that special feature out. So you buy the truck, it has the ability to do X, but then before they shoo it out the door, they say, program X out. We don't want it to do that cool thing.
Especially where this is a Raptor.
You buy a Raptor, you want it to do your dishes, man. You want it to do everything for you. James is going to give us a little idea of how this whole ForScan thing works. Give us a rundown here.
Yeah, so each of these modules have 2 separate sections of memory. There's the flash, which is the software to run the module, and then the configuration, or the EEPROM, that stores all of the features of the vehicle. So each one of these numbers up here tell the truck if it has what size tires or the axle ratio, things of that nature. So ForScan allows you to go in and just change that configuration. So that's what we did for the features that they wanted to activate on this truck. We had to go into 5 or 6 different modules, change some of this coding.
The coding in those little squares there, okay.
And then we were able to activate those features in the truck. As far as programs to do this, ForScan's kind of unique in that it has a lot of control that you can do, and a lot of people are contributing to that community. There's also Alpha OBD for Chryslers. That's a software that I've poked around with a lot, and it can do a lot of feature changes, but it's not laid out in the same way. It doesn't have the same data as Ford. So it's a lot of just switches that you turn on and off. GM, as far as I know, we don't have a software that can do that. Some people have the engineering software that can turn features on and off, but right now that's not legal to own.
Here's something I've heard too, that in the vehicle module you can set up strobing effects in lights. Have you heard that?
I have not. That would probably be a custom feature. I don't think factory would make that. So
I just heard it somewhere on a news story a while back where, like, cop cars, you don't have to program, or you don't have to install separate strobes anymore. Mm-hmm. You can just go in and flip a few switches, and then I don't know how that would be activated. So
I know that Ford has a lot of programming for police vehicles. So if there's a police mode that you wanted active, that could probably be done, but you'd have to figure out what you needed to manipulate.
Well, it's been awesome of James to come out. Thank you very much. We appreciate your help with this. Yep. Let's get back to installing the cold air intake. We're going to start by bolting this filter into this new lid. I still like old school. There's nothing better than a nice snap-on flex head ratchet. It's the best. All right, let's get that thing in the box. All right, snapped in place. Let's get these pipes on. So it's okay. This one goes on down here. This one goes up here. Okay, pretty straightforward. I wish I could hold the camera and film this at the same time, but all right, I'm gonna get a nut driver for this. This is that sensor that I pulled out of the other tube right here. It's gonna go back in here. Okay, there's this nice little touch here. This piece also holds these pipes together into one piece. Oh, that's a pretty tight fit. So I'm gonna have to back that out just a hair. All right, buzz this down. Okay. All right, everything's snugged down. Let's get this wire. All right, gotta pull this wire out of here and extend it a little bit. All right. That's installed. All right, we got this cold air intake installed. We got the boots hooked up. This boot, that boot. We got the two new pipes that go to the filter. This bracket that hooks in. All the clamps, the wire hooked up. Just got to zip tie it right back there. And let's give it a start, see how it sounds. The cold air intake install is done, and let's move on to the next thing. Just a quick reminder of why we're doing this giveaway very soon. It's to help the people at City Hope.
City Hope is a Christian nonprofit founded by Fernando Calaguas, dedicated to feeding the hungry one soul at a time. As a child, Fernando often went to bed on an empty stomach. He promised God that if he could come to America, he'd spend his life feeding others. He's been doing that for 25 years, and we want to help him keep that promise. 100% of your donation goes straight to City Hope, so your gift has the greatest possible impact. Please consider donating by visiting the link below.
These are the kind of tonneau covers that Ashton and I run on both of our trucks. I've always loved tonneau covers, being able to cover up the bed and lock it, kind of secure what's in the back and keep it dry. But I wanted one that was small and that didn't take up a bunch of space. There's some tonneau covers that fold up and take three big solid pieces, and they take up a lot of room, and when they're open they obstruct the view looking from the cab out. So the ones that I've always liked, small, and it rolls up and it's lightweight, and it's been the one that I've used for probably 20 years now. And this was donated to us by SWARF WORKS. We appreciate everything Paul's done, and he has done quite a bit for us and for this build. So hang tight while we do this install. All right, let's get this thing laid out. There's the cover. There is the driver's side rail. There is the passenger side rail. Let's bolt this thing up and see how it looks. We got these clamps that kind of bolt. All right, this is a little different than the ones I usually get, but let's see how it goes. All right, let's get this gasket installed. All right, just want to wash this off a little bit. It's not Griots, it's just soapy water. It's a warm day, so it's dried. Mounted here so we can get this distance set and the rails locked in. Just gonna snug the top of the forward part down and then roll it. See how it fits. Lock it down, pull it over. All right, guys, we got the tonneau cover installed. It's clean, it's light, and it rolls up into a nice tight roll at the end. In fact, let me show you how we do that. All right, we pop these two levers, roll it. And there's a little bungee right here that loops around. and hooked right there. Keeps it nice and tight. When you're done, you unhook those. Just roll it back over the top like that. Snap it down. Stick the Velcro, and you're ready to roll. Right, if you guys want to help out and have a chance of winning this epic Raptor, like and subscribe to this video so you can be notified when it goes live.